So my question to anybody who's talking, when I see something's going on, I'll say, okay, what are you noticing in your body? And then they'll say, well, my stomach is feeling a little tight. So I'll say, all right, so just notice that tightness. And what else comes up with that tightness? Is there a color or another sensation or maybe an image coming? Yeah, well, it kind of feels like a rubber band that's being pulled. And the image, I'm just getting an image of when I was 3 and my mother, was, whatever it is, was yelling at me.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say, all right, so just notice that rubber band, and then let me know what happens next. And then they'll usually say, oh, well, it's not as tight as it was a minute ago.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for professional mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Consult a qualified professional for your needs. Views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and not necessarily those of Meet Your Mental Helper Podcast LLC or its affiliates. We are not responsible for actions taken based on this content. Welcome to the Meet Your Mental Helper podcast. I'm Jim Weisbecker, the host. I'm also a licensed professional counselor in Arizona who loves to talk shop with colleagues. And when I do, I'm always amazed at how much knowledge they have. And I think to myself, they should have a podcast or they should be on a podcast. But they're not celebrities. They're counselors, therapists, psychologists, life coaches of all type who grind it out every day in our community to help us grow and to help us heal. Without further ado, let's meet today's mental helper. And welcome to Meet Your Mental Helper. Today's guest is Leslie Gould-Barkman, a somatic therapist, certified emotion reader with over 20 years in the wellness field. She helps people grow, change, and heal using innovative, science-based, and spiritually integrated therapies grounded in quantum physics and Einstein's work. A formerly nationally licensed massage therapist with 13 years in private practice, Leslie now offers transformational body, mind, energy work locally and virtually worldwide. She holds a BFA in drama from NYU, once performed in children's theater and puppetry throughout New York City, and now lives in Western Massachusetts with her partner, their dog Shelby, and 2 adult children. And also, I'll be posting at the bottom of this all the ways you can contact Leslie through website, Facebook, email, and so forth. So welcome today, Leslie.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
So Leslie, tell us about Ladybug Mind Healing. How did it come to be?
Okay. So it's Ladybug Body Mind Healing. And I know it's a mouthful, but I wanted to be clear that it's body, mind, we heal, it's holistic healing. Um, if I could throw energy in the middle, I would, because now I am working more on an energetic level. So it brings body, mind, and energy together, and energy is becoming at the forefront of it. Um, and so I say that I work with people's nervous systems through somatic healing. And so somatic healing, it would be, if you have a feeling, we may be telling a story about our mother or something, and there's always going to be a feeling in the body that comes along with it. The most popular ones are shoulders, throat, chest, stomach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go right there. So my question to anybody who's talking, when I see something's going on, I'll say, okay, what are you noticing in your body? And then they'll say, well, my stomach is feeling a little tight. So I'll say, all right, so just notice that tightness. And what else comes up with that tightness? Is there a color or another sensation or maybe an image coming? Yeah, well, it kind of feels like a rubber band that's being pulled. And the image, I'm just getting an image of when I was 3 and my mother, was, whatever it is, was yelling at me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we'll say, all right, so just notice that rubber band, and then let me know what happens next. And then they'll usually say, oh, well, it's not as tight as it was a minute ago. Okay. And then often they'll just have a nice breath. So that's just a little example of how we could talk about the mother in that moment and all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
ultimately we kind of will, we may go back to it because it's both. But what's really happening there is those feelings that we have in our bodies, they immediately we go into our head and we put a story to it. Or we don't like how it feels, so we distract ourselves from it. But when we allow ourselves to just feel it, let the body process it, the body is actually going through something, finishing a process that we interrupt. So by doing that, and then another few seconds will go by, and now what's happening? Oh, it's not a rubber band at all. Now it just kind of feels like a white sheet that I just put on my bed. And we're describing this because we're putting words to sensations. And then all of a sudden, there isn't the charge anymore about that moment. And if you do that enough, we start to take the energetic charge out of a moment that is in our bodies, but that we are trying to figure out or do something within our minds. So, okay, and there's other ways to do that. Somatically, we could say, okay, so go to that moment with your mother right there. And now what do you know? So now I'm feeling like I'm being choked. Okay. So notice that. And now you said last week that you love the beach in Maine. So just go ahead and go there. Now what do you notice? Ooh, well, now I don't notice anything. Now I'm feeling neutral and relaxed. Beautiful. And when we go back and forth, it's called pendulation.
Hmm.
Go back and forth enough. By the time you do it enough and you go back to your mother when she was yelling at you, you're not feeling that anymore. So we've just processed some unprocessed energy that was causing you to feel a certain way with that memory. So that would be an example of a somatic approach.
Hmm.
Okay. An example of so it's called the emotion and body code. And this is based on the idea that of quantum physics. So in the body code and the emotion code, we're dealing with trapped emotions. Now, in that moment I just described, we could have been trapping emotions as a 3-year-old in that moment while our mother was yelling at us, right? Things like worthlessness, things we're not going to say or feel. It's a feeling a moment. And in energetic terms, everything is energy. So even emotions are energy. Emotions have a certain frequency, like a note on a scale. So anger has a different frequency than worthlessness. Shame has a different one than happiness, right? And it's ultimately going to be a negative emotion that we've trapped. Okay. And it could be multiple ones. It could be shock, fear, and worthlessness, right? Um, so the body code and the emotion code allows us to go into the body energetically and locate that particular emotion from that particular situation or another situation like it. And then we can clear it away. The body code, so that's the emotion code part. The body code part allows us to go in and find out about imbalances in our bodies that can be causing the feeling. So again, these energetic things are causing us to feel anxious, causing us to have behaviors we don't want to have, etc. And then what we do with that, with the emotion and body code, we use an app, but the way we do it is with something called muscle testing or kinesiology. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, James. Um,
Vaguely, somewhat, but
Somewhat.
go
So
ahead and explain for
chiropractors,
people that are maybe not be.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So um, pro- um, physical therapists use it, chiropractors use it. Um, and this what I'm talking about now, the emotion code and body code, is all based on quantum physics, entanglement theory, which allows us to the interconnectedness of us all, so that it allows distance healing. It's all about quantum leaps, where we can shift from one state to another instantaneously. And all of that is based on Einstein's work. And that is quantum physics. And quantum physics deals with things on the atomic and subatomic level that we cannot see, which is why it's hard sometimes for people with a Western mindset and Western medicine to grasp that something can be there that you cannot see. Okay. So muscle testing kinesiology uses that um, by testing. We could do it on ourselves. When we have a positive feeling in our bodies, we're strong. When it's negative, when it's positive or true, it's strong. When it's negative or false, it isn't. So I'll show you an example. So I put out my hand,
Sure.
my wrist, and I'm going to
Hmm.
use these two fingers, and I'm going to push down just gently here. So there's a little bit of a give, right? Naturally, I
Mhm.
could force it, but just a little give. If I say my name is Leslie, I'm going to have a very solid arm. I can force
Mhm.
it, but if I just tell that it's like, my name is Leslie, it doesn't go anywhere. Same thing. Yes, doesn't go anywhere. If I say my name is Matilda, it's weaker. If I say no, it's weaker. Okay.
Mhm.
So what I do, so you can certainly do that on clients and
Mhm.
test. And a lot of you'll go to sometimes chiropractors do that. They're testing supplements. They'll hold up the vitamin B and say,
Okay.
does she need vitamin D? Yes, no. Okay. I use these fingers to do the same thing. So if I were working with you virtually, whether you're in my office or virtually, I'm going to do this because it's quick and easy. So this finger, this is the tester. This is the one that's pulling. This is the one
Mhm.
that tells me if it's yes or no. So my name is Leslie. Yes. My name is Matilda. No. Yes. No. Your name is James. Yes. Your name is Bradley. No. Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah. And
weird. I
anyone
tried it
can learn it.
myself.
You can learn it. You can learn it. It's really about getting out of the way. Yeah. And being very gentle. It's like, it's the gentler the better because the slightest thing you can feel it's a yes. I don't even have to be hard. No. I can almost feel it sometimes right before I feel my finger going lock. So
Mhm.
now we bring in the quantum physics. So I will, in order to do this particular technique, the body code and the emotion code, I need to connect to you. And there we are with the entanglement, quantum entanglement. Okay. Einstein called it spooky science at a distance. Like, how does that work? But it does. So I say, I have a moment of silence and I connect to source and I connect to you. I ask your permission. I get it. And then I'm connected to you. And then I could talk to your subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind is literally a lie detector. And it knows every single second of our lives, every second. So if you're saying, so for example, so I connect to it, and then say we're talking about, I want to lose weight, and I can't seem to lose any weight. Okay, all right. So I'll say, um, and this is a simple, simplistic version of it, but I'll say, all right, what's going? Is there something blocking James from releasing the weight he wants to release? Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, great. And then we'd go to the app, and I could show it to you if you want. And
Mhm.
we go through it. Would you like me to bring it up and show it to you at this
Sure, go
point?
right ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. So here we are. So here it is.
Mhm.
And so if we were in the emotion code, let me just show you quickly here. So I could ask, is there a trapped emotion that is blocking you from being able to release the weight? You're doing everything right. What's going on? You're leading less. Why is this not happening? Right. I could say, is there an emotion? And yes. Okay. Is it in column A? No. Is it in column B? Yes. Okay. Is it an odd number? No, it's an even. Okay. So then I'll say, is it B2? No. B4? No. B6. Okay. So B6. Then I'll go to B6 and I'll bring these up and I'll say, all right, is it pride? Is it shame? Is it shock? Is it unworthy? Is it worthless? Oh, it's worthless. Okay.
Leslie,
Now
how does the, client know which number it is? Like kidneys
it's
or
all
bladder,
right.
how would you
Well,
know?
let me explain this. Yeah. So they don't have to know anything. And let me explain why that's there. Good question.
Mhm.
That's there because our glands and organs generate these emotions. Now, remember, these are just frequencies in the body, but they generate them. So you know how people will say, grief is in your lungs or heartache is in your heart. Well, it really is. Heart heartache, effort unreceived.
So number 4, I was just thinking gallbladder. There's
Mm.
that phrase out there, "You have a lot of gall."
Oh,
Or that person had a lot of gall. Is that where that comes
yeah.
from?
I it may. I think
It's
we
kind of
find that
interesting.
right. It is interesting. We always do
Yeah.
find those crossovers, even the shape of of things or whatever that are good for certain parts of your body. Walnuts are good for your brain, and they kind of look like your brain or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, and if you're gall, well. anger, resentment,
Mhm.
frustration. And so, right. And so these generate these emotions. And sometimes if a box keeps coming up, we might say, okay, if 4 is always coming up, all right, is there an imbalance in the gallbladder that needs our attention? Yes. Oh, okay. Right. And sometimes if we
Mhm.
feel a lot of these things, we can sort of recognize ourselves here, whether we recognize that, oh, I always seem to have heart problems, or I always seem to have, you know, um, bladder problems. Well, we look at the emotions and we go, yeah, I do feel those things a lot. Right. Um,
Mhm.
so so once we find the emotion, then we may need to know, is it yours? Did you get this during your lifetime? You felt it, or did you absorb it from someone, inherit it from someone? There's different kinds, different ways of getting it. We can also then say your subconscious mind might need us to know when that moment of worthlessness happened. So then I test it and say, do we need to know more? Yes. Okay. Age? Yes. Then I could go back. I get your age. So say you're 60. I say, all right, was it before 30? Yes. Before 20? Yes. Before 10? Yes. Before 5? Yes. I've gone back to a minute after birth, or,
Mhm.
it could be now, and you can get the exact moment. And then ultimately, I'll say, okay, do you remember if it was 5? So worthlessness. And it have to do with your mother. Okay, do you remember, Nicole, anything at around 5? Well, yeah, that was that time when I first started kindergarten. And my mother said, whatever, it's too bad you're not smart. You won't do very well. Something like that.
Right.
And right. And then we have that opportunity for them to connect to that moment. But even if you don't, it's okay, because then what we do when we don't need to know anything else, then here's the next part that we do. So, our governing meridian, if you're familiar with meridians, we have meridians that are two-sided, and we have some meridians that go right down the middle. And governing meridian is one that goes right down the middle. And the name governing means it governs all the others, the flow of all it governs a lot of our organs. If you go to acupuncture and they put needles in certain areas, they are working on meridians and they're removing blockages. Okay. This is the same idea. And I'll show you in the body code that when we use that, there's a whole section of meridians um, that, um, that addresses blockages and flow. So, but the
Gotcha.
way that we release these are we use the energy of our hand and we just sweep it like this, either 3 times or 10 times, depending on what it is.
Mhm.
And then I test, did it release? Yes. And when this happens, I always feel it. I'm a very body clairsentient, so I'm claircognizant and clairsentient and clairvoyant. So I can see things, I can feel things in my body, and I just know things. So I always feel the release. And if I don't feel it, I know we haven't gotten it. But most of my clients, probably 99%, feel something too. You feel tingling, you feel a breath go through you, you feel more relaxed, lighter. Okay. Anytime we
Mhm.
do this. So that's what the emotion code would look like. And let me show you then what the body code looks like. And the emotion code is part of the body code. You first take the first level of emotion code, and then you take the body code, and the emotions are in the energy section, along with a bunch of other interesting things. So here's the emotions. So that would take you right back. They're also here in reverberation. There's post traumatic. So all kinds of physical, emotional shock, recovery interference, which means we were sick, either emotionally or physically overwhelmed, and did not 100% heal it because we were interrupted. Circuits and systems will show you every system or circuit in the body, every organ, gland, system, and then each one you can go into. So as I'm working, so let's say I'm working on somebody
Mhm.
and it is a system, you know. So, okay, so it tells me to go to that. Then I say, is it left or right? So then maybe it says it's a gland. And then I say left or right. Okay, right. And so is it brain? No. Is it, I can't see it, but is it that one? Yes. Then you open it up. Is it on the left? Yes. Is it thymus? Right. Then we land on the organ, gland, or whatever it is that is contributing to whatever you're feeling. Okay. Now, this works for emotional and physical things. The body doesn't know the difference because there isn't really a difference. We can remove toxins from any time in your life. And here's all there's many, there all of these toxins. And again, if we landed on heavy metal, we can find the exact one.
Hmm.
Left, number one, yeah, mercury, right? Usually with toxins, we don't need to know much, but sometimes it's like, yeah, you need to know, okay, what age? We'll get the age. We can even get exactly what it's from, dental amalgam, fish, seafood. We can get that. And again, we clear it. All right. And so by doing this, what this is, and the name tells it all, the emotion code and the body code, it's very much like like computer code. I know nothing about computer code, but I know that sometimes I'll want a picture, and instead of a picture, I'll come get this code that has numbers and zeros and ones and dots. And I know that a computer programmer would say, yeah, even if one dot is off or 1 0 is off and should be a one, you're not going to, the picture isn't going to be right. It's not going to be there. And so when we go into the body in the subconscious level, we realize that all of our issues, from being angry or overwhelmed or depressed or anxious or fearful to having a pain or a chronic illness, it's all an accumulation of these small imbalances or trapped emotions in our bodies. Okay. And it gets into even energy, can go into offensive energies, things like curses and entities and courtings. I know that sounds a little weird, but they're real.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and misalignments. And then we can also go to pathogens where it could tell you if you have a physical or energetic pathogen in you. And the energetic one is like the leftover of another physical one. And it can go into each of them again and clear it, because it's sort of like energetic clutter that clutters us up, and it is then the cause of whatever we're feeling. And going back to the quantum physics, people could have a pain in their neck, and we'll
Hmm.
do a few of these and it will be gone. And
Hmm.
that's because of quantum leaps and allowing things to shift without having to kind of go there. They just shift instantaneously.
Hmm.
Okay. And it does happen. And so it could be as easy as that, or it can be, usually, if we're working with trauma, right? We know there's going to be a lot of layers there.
Right.
So, but we chip away at it, or chronic illness, right? And chronic illness is so often caused by an accumulation of these imbalances and a lot of trauma and trapped emotions, often from childhood.
Hmm.
Um, and so it allows us to go there, and it could be, 5 imbalances, or it could be 25 that we have to do.
I
And
see.
as we do them, we clear them away. And sometimes I'll be working, and people will, be like, no, I feel lighter. And then they'll say, well, no, actually, I'm getting a headache. All right. Then I'll say, okay, what's causing that headache? And then we'll treat that headache. And this is how we kind of go beneath the story and get to what's really happening in the body. And then this shifts. So then afterwards, I'll say, okay, how are you feeling about, you know, um, whatever, if we're talking about a
Hmm.
relationship issue and I'm really mad at my husband, how do you feel about it now? Well, yeah, I don't feel mad anymore. It's really weird. I don't know. It's almost like I know he's still doing things that I don't like, but there's a distance between me and it now.
Hmm.
And that sort of comes back to sort of mindfulness and being the observer. It allows you to make some space, or it doesn't matter as much, or you can start to see a better understanding of the situation. So it shifts your perspective of it and perception of it.
Hmm.
And so it shrinks it down. And so it no longer, it feels more manageable. And it's not really as much of an issue anymore. You can just sort of go ahead and do what you need to do without having that strong emotion or that pain in your stomach there. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's basically what that looks like. Um, and I use this really centrally, and then I'll use the somatic sometimes for certain sessions or in between if
Mhm.
something's coming up. I might say, "Okay, let's go there then, that moment. Okay, what would it be like to go to that bedroom when you were 3?"
Mhm.
Okay. And then they could make a different choice, and you can use your imagination, because the other thing about quantum physics is that um, it it's called superposition. Um, it's the idea that everything in a there's many things happening all at once, and those many things are all possibilities and potential. So we can go back to the room and feel like we want to hide and shrink because we're afraid of our mother, or we could say, you know what? I want to ride off on a unicorn and go to my
Mhm.
grandmother's house and just live there forever. And then when we allow ourselves to use our imagination to go there, it creates a shift subatomically, cellular in a molecular level in our body that frees us
Mhm.
of that very strong emotion we were having. And then that pushes us a little more forward in healing that trauma that was there. Okay.
Mhm.
So we can intersperse that. So
That's real interesting.
yeah.
It's interesting because I do a lot of EMDR and I do a lot of somatic. I would call it somatic EMDR. Also,
Mhm.
some emotionally focused or attachment focused stuff. So, like earlier, you were saying, and I can't remember, it was something about did you feel this at a certain age or whatever. But I'll sometimes somebody will say like I'm not good enough, and I'll go, how old is that voice? Oh
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
gosh, that voice goes back to when I was 6. Star
Right.
Mom told me I wasn't smart enough, or you know what I mean. So,
Right.
and what's interesting too is with what I do sometimes is you mentioned the imagination going somewhere. Often I'll say, where could 6-year-old you go
Right.
where they felt really engaged and the rest of the world couldn't touch them or couldn't be there. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And then we do that with bilateral stimulation, but it's a lot of this is kind of resonating because, and also I notice when I do EMDR sessions and it's an early target, like, age 5, I saw mom die or whatever it
Mhm.
was. It's often nonverbal. So it's a lot of, I feel this thing in my shoulders, or I feel this tension in my shoulders or in my chest. And then it'll come around to, oh, that's the same feeling I had when I was running through the funeral home, trying to get someone's attention because, that's my mom in the casket or whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've never used the term quantum physics with it, but
Yeah.
it's a
But
different
it
way to look at
basically
it.
is. It
Hmm.
is. It's we are working on an energetic we're always working on an energetic level because we're energy, and different names, but they all cross over. EMDR, they all cross over. Um, oh, you were saying something. No, I can't remember, but um, yeah, yeah. So those moments, right, and that sensation in the body,
Hmm.
and going there with your imagination and visualization is the same thing as intention. And what we're doing with this, when I do this, I am setting the intention. Please, okay, release the
Hmm.
energy of this virus. Release the energy of this virus, and the body knows exactly what we mean.
Hmm.
So, it really does, and it believes everything we tell it, you know?
Exactly. And you're also having some control, whereas you didn't have
Mhm.
control before. It was running you.
Mm,
You know what I'm
true.
saying? I mean, in other words, you're starting to go, where do I feel it or where am I? That is a sense of control for the first time where people are just
That's
experiencing it versus, hey, I have
that's
some
true.
control over this.
That's true. And because you're going to it, because sometimes people misunderstand control by starting to think, and then we go into that spiral, right?
Right. Hmm.
Um, and to spiral to nowhere. It just goes like this. It doesn't, it just goes in a big circle. Um, but we're bypassing that and going to the source of what makes us start to overthink and figure things out and all of that, right?
Hmm.
And that's the level that the healing and the change happens. And change happens because when you're doing that with your clients, you're creating a shift. They are now reframing that moment, um, and putting their intention on it and a new experience. So it's like a rewrite in a way, and you're now
Hmm.
experiencing it in a different way, and that's true control, not the false control. Um, uh, yeah, control by allowing, allowing the body, and then the process of doing it. The body is then processing it, and if you know some somatics, you probably know about the fact that when animals in the wild are being chased, they're by a predator,
Hmm.
they're going to either freeze, fight, or run, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so we go into the sympathetic nervous system. We come out of parasympathetic, where we're hanging out and eating grass, and we go into sympathetic, right? So our body gets ready for those things. So we're no longer digesting, we're no longer breathing, we're breathing shallowly, our heart's beating faster, and all the blood is going to our extremities to defend ourselves, to survive, right?
Hmm.
And with an animal, though, once they do survive that moment, they shake. They don't do it on purpose, they just quiver, they just shake. And it's the body shaking out that survival energy because they don't need it anymore. How could they
Hmm.
live that survival energy if they need to eat, and whatever, and hang out with their friends at the watering hole and make babies, right? They can't live in that energy. So it automatically lets it go once they
Right.
know they're safe, and they know they're safe by looking around.
It's
No.
interesting that I mentioned I did somatic EMDR. That the gosh, I wish I remembered her name right now. I could put it up later. The
No.
trainer that trained us in that was, I'm not recommending people do this, but she was in a car accident
Mm,
and she was fine, but she got out and started shaking herself out. And the first responders there said, "Hey, lady, don't do that." She goes, "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'm getting rid of this energy before I store it." And I always remember that. Now, again, I know there's people who are going to go, if you're in an accident, don't be doing that. And I don't know
right.
to what degree she was shaking it out, but
Yeah. Yeah.
and again, I want to be real careful with that. But it's that kind of brought that memory up of her saying that, and I thought
Yeah.
that's a good point. If you know you're not, you don't have any spinal injuries or whatever, and it's just
Yeah.
or thing that's intense, you can shake it out.
Yeah. Well, and I think, the shaking is physiological, and it's sort of an unconscious thing with animals. So shaking may or may not help. I think the knowledge of it, the intention of it is what would be helpful, because when we do it with somatic experiencing, it's more of a breath that goes through you, or a tingle, right?
Hmm.
Or some tears might come, right? Or even a yawn. That is how most humans will release. But the best thing would be in a situation like that, and I think Peter Levine talked about this, who created this somatic experiencing. Um, and I think because it happened to him, like someone was in a if someone's in an accident and another person goes over immediately and puts their arm on them and just comforts them and talks to them and connects, that is the best way um, to shorten the recovery time and to lessen the trauma of it because of that connection. So much of our issues comes down to one word: safety, right?
Out.
Oh, okay, right. So if someone were to have an accident, the best thing you could do somatically and to shorten the recovery time and lessen the trauma is to be right there with the person, right? Even, ask permission, of course, but
Hmm.
touching, connecting with them, calming that nervous system down, and just letting them know they're safe, they're not alone. That, that would be the cure to all of our trauma. You're safe and you're not alone, right? I mean,
Hmm.
it's safety. Safety's the issue. So,
Hmm.
yeah, and in fact, I had a friend recently get into a bit of a car accident. She was okay. It was more of a shock, and she was more in shock. Um, and she couldn't step out of it. And she's a friend of mine who is a little skeptical about this, but
Hmm.
she agreed to let me help her. And when I worked on her, um, of course, things from the accident came up, but what mostly comes up is old stuff, right?
Hmm.
Um, and and as we cleared that, she just became more and more relaxed. She the accident got more and more distant, and it only took maybe 2 sessions. And she kinda recovered, pretty quickly. And so that's how effective it can be. Um, and again, it's really when I do this work, a lot of times the question will be, "Do you feel safe to do such and such?" And you'll often get a no. Or if people really want something, "I really wanna meet the man of my dreams, I'm ready." And then I'll test and I'll ask their subconscious mind, "Do you really wanna meet the man of your dreams?" "No." "Are you ready?" "No." So
Hmm.
so then we'll say, "Okay, why aren't you ready? What's going on here?" Okay, and then we start finding the codes, the different things that are causing, um, whatever it is there. And it could be, you don't believe it could happen. You don't feel like you have the capacity for it to happen. And that's all stuff we can't possibly know because it's subconscious, right? So we do our very best consciously, but if the subconscious isn't on board, we're not going to meet that person and we're not going to lose that weight.
For
So,
sure.
right? So it's very revealing and people love it because it's like, "Oh my God, really? Wow, okay, well, yeah, let's work on that." It's like it's
Yeah,
a relief. Good, it's not me because 'cause I'm working my butt off here. Um, so it could be, yeah, a sense of relief, like it's not my fault. Um, yeah, and I don't know if you want me to switch gears a little bit and talk about Akashic record reading at all?
you mentioned earlier, maybe trying a little example of.
Oh, well, I love that
Do you want
idea.
to do that?
Yes.
Because
Yes, I love
I'm
that.
always game for that. Is that good?
Oh, that's good. All right. So here, I've got it. It's on my phone. It's the same thing. And so, yeah, so maybe you've got what do you got going on? What's coming up for you that you'd like to change or eliminate or improve?
Um, Boy, there's a list, Leslie.
And it could be like an ache or a pain. It could be um, something that you're kind of like trying to work out and you're, like
You know what?
indecisive.
This I've had one. Would this be one we've been hit with? You know the old saying, when it rains, it pours.
Hmm.
We've been hit with an inordinate amount of expenses recently.
Okay.
So there's some stress from, on the one hand, everything's under control, but on the other hand, there's that
Hmm.
fudge cake. We've got all this stuff going on, and then my spouse is concerned about it. And I mean, again, it's nothing like the ship is going to sink, but it's just
All
like,
right.
how the heck in a 60-day period could the roof need to be repaired? The this
Mm.
some furnaces went out on properties I have. Different things all at once.
Uh-huh, okay. Everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah,
Okay, so hello, overwhelm, right.
definitely
Yeah,
some
okay,
frustration. Hmm.
and frustration, okay, okay. So let me tune in real quick. So you just set your intention on wanting just to be able to handle these things without the feeling you're having, and where do you notice this in your body?
Um, I feel a lot of stuff probably in my stomach, probably in in the intestines, or think where else. Yeah, I would say that's chest, stomach, maybe, probably mostly chest, stomach.
Okay, yep,
They're
okay.
two separate ones, maybe, but chest, stomach.
Chest and stomach, okay, and that could be I'm sure there's certain things happening in the chest and certain things happening in the stomach. Um,
Hmm.
and we can find out. So just set your intention on, wanting to just feel better, feel more neutral so you could just handle the situation without it hijacking you, right? Physically and
Hmm.
emotionally. And I'm just going to connect to source and connect to you. So here we go. Just a moment of silence. Okay. All right. So here we are. And so, all right. So I'm just going to sort of repeat what you just said. I'm going to speak to your subconscious mind, but it's a three-way conversation. So just jump in, correct me, add. Okay.
Okay.
So is James feeling stress? Is he feeling frustration? Yes. Stress and frustration. Yes. Um, and about the financial things, the everything everywhere all at once. Okay. And is he feeling it in his stomach? Yes. And his chest. Okay. Um, and so in order to relieve this, would our best approach to be to go to his stomach or chest?
Leslie, quick question.
Yeah.
Um, do I need to be feeling it right now? Like today, I have some shoulder pain, but I've been doing push-ups a lot the last over
Okay.
the over the week. I've been doing a certain type of push-up where you tense your body. So I don't think it's
You
I
don't
don't
think that.
normally hold stress in my neck or shoulders.
Okay.
And
Okay.
right now, like before we started, I reset my vagus nerve and I'm not feeling it. Maybe a pinch in the
Yeah.
stomach,
It's
just a
still there. I mean,
pinch.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So let me see. So let me ask: is the discomfort James is feeling in his shoulders? Is that from his push-ups? No. Is it from the stress? Okay. Doesn't mean you don't have some sore muscles from the push-ups, but it's saying it's from the stress. So
And there's also doing this podcast. Like I want to do a good job for you. I want to do a
that's
good
true.
job for the
Yeah.
viewers. So
Yeah.
there's always
Yeah.
a little bit of that too.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So we can do many things. I can dig sometimes if, kind of dig around and get more specific is what's the loudest thing that's bothering you? Well, what is the loudest thing that's bothering you? Is there something that rises to the surface of this situation? What's the biggest concern you have? And you don't even have to say it out loud if it's personal, whatever. But
Yeah, I got to be careful in that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got it.
okay.
I got it.
Just
I got it in my
You got
mind.
it? Okay, okay.
Hmm.
So, this loudest concern he has right now, okay, what can we do about what's causing that? So, just gonna say what's causing it. And then we're gonna go around. Okay, imbalance is yes. And I'm just gonna see if I can get a sense of how many, or I can say we have, well, let's just see how many. More than one, more than two, more than three, more than four, more than five, more than six, more than seven, more than eight. So, there's a lot, 10, 11. So, there's a lot. So,
Two,
we're just gonna,
yeah, maybe
yeah.
two. That
So,
really are
so
central, I would say.
So there's 2. Okay, so these 2 issues. Okay. So now what I'll do, since I know we have a time limit, and sometimes
Hmm.
in a session I'll say, "All right, we have 20 minutes. Show me what you got." And then your subconscious will make sure that it sort of piles on the most important stuff. So I can say in 5 minutes, we have about 5 minutes? Yeah, James? Yeah.
Hmm.
So show me as many imbalances as you can, the strongest and most root causes of this feeling is having about these 2 main loudest issues. Please show us who is. Okay, left, yes. Energy, no. Toxin. And remember, as these comes up, you're going to be like, what does that have to do with anything? It doesn't matter. It's like saying, what does a 0 or a 1 have to do with the picture of my grandmother? The code behind the
Am I supposed
picture.
to be noticing that, or are you doing that?
Not yet. Nope, nope. This is just
Okay.
the work that your subconscious mind is your inner healer. And it is
Okay,
now, I am
gotcha.
the translator
Okay.
and it's telling me where to go, and I'm finding out by doing this. So
Okay.
it's now saying, okay, it's a toxin. The first thing is a toxin. Okay, is it on the left? No, it's on the right. So is it a heavy metal? No. Excess? No. Electromagnetic radiation? No. Environmental. So that could be air pollution or something we eat or toxins in building material. Okay, left? No. Right? And it's agricultural. So, if it needs us to know the exact one, it will. Do we need to know more? No. Otherwise, we can know how old you were. Was it in your breakfast cereal? Whatever. Um, do we need to know more? And then I ask, is there an associated imbalance? No. That means if there were, I'd have to do some other imbalances before I release this one. So, since there's nothing we need to know, we're just going to release it. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to just say the words, release the energy of this toxin, and allow your body to eliminate it with sweeping like this 3 times. Okay, so here we go. Please release the energy of this toxin and have your body remove it through its normal elimination channels. Release it now. So I felt a little bit of a release in my body followed by a breath. What did you notice?
Was I supposed to be doing this? I was doing this too.
You don't have to. I can do it
Okay.
for you as long as you have your intention with me. And if you
Hmm.
felt something great, if you didn't, that's okay too. Um,
I would say, it wasn't real intense to begin with, but I would say it's a little lighter in the chest area.
There you go. Okay. And again, it could
Mhm.
just be a feeling. All right.
Mhm.
Next imbalance, please. Right, left, right. And again, now I'm just following left. No, it's on right. One, two. It's a meridian, and it's an extraordinary meridian. There's two columns. Is it on the left? No, it's on the right. Is it conception meridian? No. Governing? No. Penetrating? No. Girdle meridian. Is it on the left or the right? Because that's a two-sided one. It's on the right. Is there an associated balance? No. So girdle meridian crosses the midsection of our body and then connects to the leg meridians. Um, so sometimes if we have a lot of tension in our stomach, this shows up, or if we want to move forward and can't, it shows up because legs are about moving forward. So we're just now going to realign girdle meridian right. Just set that intention with me or sweep with me. Realign girdle meridian right. Okay. Do you release it? Okay, realigned it. Okay. Moving on next, right. A misalignment. Left, right. Another meridian. Left, right, extraordinary meridian again. And right again, same place. Girdle. This time it's girdle meridian left. Do we need to know more? Associated balance? Nope. So realign. Girdle meridian left. Okay, it didn't release. I could feel it didn't release. It sort of started to and it stopped, and I just tested it. Okay. Do we need to sweep it again? No. Is there an associated balance? Yes. Okay, so let's go and find that. Is there more than one? No, there's just one. So let's find it. Misalignment. Left. No, right. Skeleton, soft tissue, meridian. Another meridian. Extraordinary meridian again. Girdle. Left, right. Both sides. Again, it doesn't have to make sense to us. Makes sense to the body. Is there an associated balance? No. So realign girdle meridian. Left and right. Realign. There it is. Is there anything else? Can we realign girdle meridian left? Realign girdle meridian left. Okay. And so just noticing what might feel different in your body, might be different than it was a few minutes ago. It might be just slight. What do you notice that's different?
Um, Lighter, maybe?
Okay, some lighter, and just bring in, and we're not done. We'll do it in a few more minutes. Bring in
Mhm.
those two issues, and just see what you notice that might be different. Maybe a little less triggered, or maybe something different coming up.
Yeah.
A little bit less
Yeah, I had
or
the
different.
thought of, I'm spending too much time and energy on this thing that's,
Ah,
I'm spending too
okay,
much energy worrying about
okay,
a particular aspect of it, maybe.
okay. I love that.
Mhm.
So right, so now you're getting the observer. You're stepping back and going, "Ooh, wait a second. Do I
Now,
have to?"
Leslie, can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Devil's advocate here. Uh, you know, I've just met you, but seem like a very kind person. And there's a part of me also that as you're doing this, I'm saying to myself, Leslie's taking care of this,
yeah.
which is in itself, um, which is in and of itself somewhat healing. I'm just going, yeah, let her do
Ah,
that. It's
that's great.
so I mean, there is benefit to that. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know.
I love that. Well, people are so used to working hard at everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I'm like, "Hey, you don't have to do anything,"
Mm-hmm.
because your subconscious mind is doing it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not actually doing it. I am just the translator. Like the man who created this, he says, "I just work here." So
Mm-hmm.
I am literally just asking your subconscious mind, "What's next? What's next? What's going on right now? What do we need to do right now?" So and but that you're right, that feeling alone, to have that feeling for some people, it could be profound, right? That I've
Mm-hmm.
been working my whole life on, I don't have to do any work. Oh my god, it's just clearing things away and it's so easy. you know?
Uh-huh.
Um, so you brought up, I feel like all of a sudden I don't feel like I have to spend this much time. I've been spending too much energy on this. Okay. So that phrase right there, I'm asking your subconscious mind, is that something we can work with there? Okay. No. Sometimes it's like, yeah. And then I'll say, okay, why is he feeling that way now? But I think it wants us to continue down what we were doing. But that kind of thing, I love when people just, I'll ask what's coming up and they'll say it, or now I'm feeling something in my left ear. Okay, what's that about? And then that takes us, it's the like the breadcrumb thing, like following the
Uh-huh.
bread. So let's keep going. So see if we can reduce this even more. You're questioning whether you should spend the time and energy. So good. So we're gonna okay. So the next imbalance, please, that was causing this the two major factors for him that are now a little bit less, but still there. What else can we do here to shrink him down even more? So misalignment, left, right, another meridian, extraordinary meridian, and girdle again. And I know it's like, okay, girdle again, but it is. So girdle, left, right, both sides. Is there an associated balance now? Realign, girdle, meridian. Okay, is there another imbalance? Yes, left, right, misalignment, meridian, another meridian, and girdle, both sides. Realign girdle meridian, both sides again. Okay, good. Any trapped emotions here? No. Imbalances? Okay, let me check in. So now what are you noticing in your body and what's coming up, if anything?
Just I would say I'm just noticing being neutral.
Being neutral, okay. And
Uh-huh.
bringing in the two big things that were most concerning for you. What do you notice?
I still don't like them, but they're there. I can accept they're there. They're there. They're not going away right now.
There we go.
Mhm.
And so you've arrived at sort of that healthy detachment, that place we're all trying to go with doing mindfulness, right?
Uh-huh.
It's there. I'll take care of it, but it's not consuming me, you know?
Uh-huh.
It's sort of there's a little bit of a space between me and it, right? So that's pretty much what it looks like.
And
And
Leslie,
just
what were you doing with your hands?
so I was doing what I had showed you, right? That the
Uh-huh.
muscle testing, right? So
Oh, okay.
right, so if I was
I
with
I wanted
you,
to connect that. So
I'm
I was
sorry, and I should have said it
yeah,
again.
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. So if I was with you, before we knew that you can just do this and be I'm your proxy doing this. I got your permission to do it for you.
So as you're looking at your app, um like, can you give me an example just, how it works for you? Like, uh, go through it again real quick, that's interesting.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so and I can bring up it on the screen if you want to show you, or I can just explain it, but so I've
Yeah, if
got
you
the
want,
2 prop yes,
go ahead.
screen? Screen?
Whichever you wanna do, yeah.
Okay, well, um, let's see.
Yeah, go ahead and bring it back up if you want,
Yeah,
for a minute.
okay, okay, so we were here, and so I'll start oop, I lost you, I can't see anymore. I guess it doesn't matter, you can see me, right?
I can see you, yeah.
Yeah, alright, just don't see us. Okay, but that's okay. So I'll ask, okay, show me the first imbalance. So if it's on it, then I'm going to do the muscle testing. Is it on the left? No, it's on the right. So it
Okay,
kept going to misalignment. So is it pathogen? No. Is it misalignment? Yes. And then I'll
okay.
press that.
Oh, I see.
Left side, right side, right? Skeleton,
Mhm.
skeleton. Open that. Appendicular, axial. Then it'll go into all these things, even teeth. Look at all the
Oh, I
teeth.
see. Gotcha,
Yep.
gotcha.
Lower, right? So that's it. So every time I test, and then when we arrive at it, so say it's the first bicuspid, there it is. It also tells us something about it. Every single one will tell you a little bit. And, sometimes, teeth even can connect to glands, pancreas, testes, ovaries, right?
Mhm.
Liver, stomach. It can cause, an imbalance in the tooth can cause, you know, problems
Okay.
in different joints, etc. Okay, let me see how to get back because I've lost the screen. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go back up here. Here we go. Okay, and let me get out of here and stop sharing.
There
Okay.
we go. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's how it works. And it'll, and then I'll often say, any trapped emotions, it'll go to the trapped emotions. And then or I can go to the chart myself. There's also something called heart wall emotions. And those are trapped emotions that that the subconscious mind uses to put a wall around our heart, literally. 5 to
Okay.
25 of them. And when we
Hmm.
start to release heart wall emotions, it's sort of like how you feel right now, even but something else starts to happen. We start to People say all of a sudden people are being nicer to me, or they're seeing me when they usually don't,
Oh,
or
interesting. Hmm.
right, or I'm noticing the person I didn't like, I'm all of a sudden seeing they have some nice qualities, right? It's really opening our heart, and our heart has so much um, intelligence to it.
Oh, yeah.
Um, right? So
I do heart math. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
yes, yes, and I'll
Yeah.
bring in heart work with energy, with matrix energetics,
Hmm.
but also heart walls for sure,
Yeah, I know with the heart math, they've done a lot of research measuring electrical current from the heart, how far out it goes,
right?
and being coherent, and also connecting to with others. You know, along those same lines, I was gonna, and I know we got a ton to do. Maybe we can do another one down the road, but
Hmm.
um, I have seen clients, who experience a huge heartbreak, like
Hmm.
a really significant betrayal, maybe from a family member, um, whatnot. And they have now, fair in all fairness, I don't know all of their medical history or whatnot,
Right.
but they seem healthy, they seem strong, and after this huge heartbreaking event, they will actually start to have heart problems.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
will actually be going, I got to go see my cardiologist next week because I'm starting to feel this, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, it speaks right to this. If you look at the emotions that um, the heart generates, right? Abandonment, betrayal, forlorn, love
Mm-hmm.
unreceived, heartache, right? Insecurity, vulnerability.
Sure.
So, so very much so. And emotions, are energy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
right. And it is a little bit of a which come first, the chicken or the egg, right?
Right.
But I think they mostly do. I think most diseases there is an emotional component to everything. So
Mm-hmm.
literally someone, you could have sore shoulders or a finger that's sore, and we could just use the emotion code, just emotions, and it would probably take that pain away. Okay? Unless
Mm.
there was something deeper going on or congenital, whatever. But it could. And so very much so, how people will talk about you got to watch what your thoughts are, etc. You know, and that's true. But again, that's only our conscious selves, right? What's going
Right.
on in our subconscious? But I mean, people have died of heartbreak.
Oh yeah.
People have, lose their spouse of 50 years, or for, and they can have a heart attack. That when they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have a heart condition at all you know,
Mm-hmm.
or people who don't smoke have lung cancer, and right, and lung and colon is discouragement, sadness, rejection, sorrow, and they could look like they have a great life, but somewhere along the line, then it could have been early childhood. There has
Mm-hmm.
to be been something going on, you know.
For
There's
sure.
always a link
Mm-hmm.
to emotional stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a reason.
There is always a reason. Exactly. Exactly.
I always tell people you didn't just wake up one day and
Right.
decide I'm
Right.
going to start consuming this substance, or I'm going to start. There's
Right.
always a reason.
Always
There
a
is,
reason.
and it's often multi-layered and multifaceted, and it could go way back to something someone said to you, your mother said, "Wish you weren't born." Boy, those core beliefs. I mean,
Mhm,
beliefs is another big one, and we deal the next level, it's emotion code, body code, and belief code. So that's my next level. Next year, I'm gonna do that, and then that goes into just the beliefs.
mhm.
You can still go and use these, but, it's a whole other level,
I see.
and, hypnotherapy deals with that too,
How did you get onto this work, Leslie?
yeah, um, well, I'm always looking for to go deeper.
Mhm,
I'm interested in root causes, I'm interested in healing and change, and, often we could talk, and talk is very helpful because we'll start to understand things, connect the dots, we start to get to know ourselves. But there's a time when that's not enough to create change. And like you do EMDR for the same reason, and HeartMath
mhm.
because you want to go deeper under the story. So I started going into more, spiritual things like energy work, matrix energetics, which deals with a lot of heart energy and quantum physics, Akashic
Mhm,
record readings, which we didn't talk about, but that's okay, and somatics, the somatic experiencing.
mhm.
Did that, and I didn't know this existed, but I don't know about you, but, I brought up the breadcrumbs before. It's sort of the
Yeah.
cosmic breadcrumbs where sometimes you're just led to something,
Mhm.
and I'm often all those things I was led to, I didn't really seek them out. This one was very weird because I was having a back issue years ago, and I wanted to go to a yoga person for one-on-one, um,
Mhm.
and I met with a woman and she was telling me what she does, and then it became time to tell me about the price, and it was like, "Whoa." I couldn't it was just a lot. It was like, a whole
Mhm.
thousands of dollars. And I'm like, "Well," and she's like, "Okay, I have something else we could try." "Okay, what is that?" Not a substitute for yoga, but she knew that it was all about an emotional stuff that I was trying to work through. So she did the emotion code. So I did
I
a few
see.
sessions with her on the phone, like, just on the phone,
Mhm.
and it was amazing, and then I took the weekend class and learned enough to use it on me and other people, and then I got certified and then then went to the next level with the body code. So, I discovered it like that, and I think a lot of people kind of discover this and other
So
things.
if for other mental helpers out there who might be interested in following the breadcrumbs,
Yeah,
where would they find the body code training, or where could they?
yeah. Yeah, it's called Discover Healing, is the organization, and Dr. Bradley Nelson is the creator, and he was a chiropractor, and he did muscle testing already, but he started to smart guy who also loved computers when they first got started. He's probably in his 60s or early 70s now, and he just started to ask a lot of questions with muscle testing,
Hmm.
and one of his stories is, he had a woman who had migraine headaches, chronic for years and years and years, and he would treat her and do everything he thought he was supposed to do, and it wasn't working. Um, and finally she came in one day and he just kind of asked, and he was drawn to her left toe, literally.
Hmm.
He had no idea why, but his motto is anything can cause anything.
Mhm.
So we don't question why we're going to a toxin when you're mourning, having grief about your mother, So he went ahead and did whatever he did in the beginning stages of this to clear it, and her migraines went away. Now, that's one story,
Hmm.
there's other ones that are more
Sure.
incremental and everything, but it has the potential to do that. And I work with a lot of people who have whether it's chronic illnesses or chronic emotional blocks that just, they're in their
Mhm.
70s, late 60s, and they're just so tired of them, whether it's in the way of them succeeding with their careers, or, they're just so unhappy in their bodies. And
Right.
it just really it's just very helpful to get them past it. It's so effective.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
On the what do we call it? The Akasha record reader.
Yeah.
Um, We could save that for another time, or do you want to give a brief description of it now as we're kind of
Yeah.
getting towards the end?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give a brief description. So,
Okay.
I know it's a weird word, Akashic. Akasha is the substance that everything is made of. It's called Akasha.
Okay.
And yeah, and anyone who's familiar with the Book of Records, we've all heard that term, right? The Book of Records. And
Hmm.
if you're Jewish, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, they'll say the High Holy Days is when you the God goes into the Book of Records, right? And we get to look at it. We get to make amends for things we might have done. And those records are a library of every moment of our soul's journey. So kind of the subconscious with this work we just did is like a record of your existence, of you, James, your existence, birth to death. Okay, but the Akashic records and the library in that library contains all the information of your soul throughout all time. So it goes into past lives and wherever else. Um, so it allows us to go into the records with a prayer. Okay, and then I connect with the Lord's masters, teachers, and loved ones. So, say you have a question practical about life, like why do I keep having these patterns where I attract the same people over and over again,
Hmm.
or I'm so lost. What is my purpose? I have no idea. Or how can I have a better relationship with my husband? Whatever it is, right? And then we go into the records. I connect, and I see your book, and I open the book, and then I start to communicate with the Lord's masters, teachers, and loved ones using open ended questions, not predictive, not like, um, when are you going to find your perfect? It's like, please tell us more about why this relationship is so difficult. And then I get information. It could be a visual information, it could be a feeling in the body, it could be a word or a phrase that comes in. And then I kind of go with that. All right, so I'm getting, love. Okay, and what is it about? Okay, fear, afraid. Yeah, is there something about the word love? Yeah, actually, I've never been comfortable with it. I never know exactly what that means. My mother, no one ever told me they love me, right? So we get information, and it's them, right, just educating us about the celestial view of who you really are and what's really going on. Then we can say, all right, is there a past life that has a message for us that is contributing to the issue you're having in this life? And then I will ask for that, and spirit will just bring me a life, and I'll see you standing there. And I usually, you could sort of see the time period. By my teacher who taught this said, look at their feet, because you'll always know by the shoes or no shoes or sandals or that you're wearing. And I can come in close, I can back up and get a sense of where you are and get a sense of how you're feeling. So I'm seeing you in an open field. Looks like there was some kind of a war going on, but you're all alone. Whatever, you look scared, whatever it is. And we can sort of work with that image and say, okay, what does that have to do with this? Oh, there was an abandonment issue, in that life. You were left alone, right? And everyone else died or something like that.
Hmm.
So we can use that, and then we get information, and then I will work, and we could talk about this next time or two, using matrix energetics while we're in this beautiful energy of the Akashic records with the Lord's masters, teachers, and loved ones, and then work energetically. We usually start out by making space, which I can demonstrate for you right now if you want to, if we have time. It's a very quick little move, but
Sure. Go ahead.
okay. So, I always start with this. So I will go up to you, and I was just going to make some space. So I'm sort of on the outside of your body, and sometimes I'll note, okay, so your right is moving more freely than your left. So I'm just letting that move. And you could just notice what you notice. So I made a little more space on your right. And then on your left, okay, it feels like there's a little bit of a barrier here. And now it's moving. Just by me observing it, changed it. And then going to your throat, because it seems like there's a little bit of stuck energy in your throat. And again, the left side, I mean, the right side of the throat moves more easily. And now the left. And so what do you notice? What did you notice during that? And I didn't, there's more, but
Hmm. Honestly, I can't say I noticed a ton, but I will say about the left, I've been having some sinus issues over the last few weeks. They've all been in the left.
Okay, so that's I'm feeling the stuckness on the left. Right, and if we
Not
had time,
today, but there's been a lot of
right.
left. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, okay. And usually, if you didn't feel it, then I would try it another place. I would try it another way
Sure.
because
Sure.
most of the time you can really feel it and it's automatic.
Hmm.
It's like, wow, yeah, I do feel that. So, and that's just an example. But,
Well, that's
yeah,
so, Leslie. This has been great today, and I've really
yeah,
enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed participating with you on this. Um, I am going to put all of the links to get a hold of Leslie, but just if people want to connect with you and work with you, what's the best way to do that?
yeah. Well, you can first check out my website at ladybugbodymindhealing.com, or you can email me. You can email me through there. There's
Hmm.
a place, or Leslie at ladybugbodymindhealing.com.
Great, great. Well, I
Okay.
appreciate your being on the podcast today, and fascinating material that you brought. And
Okay.
for, let's do this again sometime, because
I would love to.
I feel like we just got started and it's already time.
I know so much. I know. I know. Like Carol Burnett said, seems we just got started, and before you know it, yes, comes the
Yes,
time to say goodbye.
we're
Thank
dating
you so much.
ourselves. We're dating
We
ourselves,
are.
but
I know. I
I used to
know.
watch that show as a kid.
Oh God, me too. She was on last night. She was on Stephen Colbert, which was really fun. 91
Yeah,
years old.
she's in her
Yeah.
90s. Yeah, still
Yeah,
doing
she's
stuff.
amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to share this work with you,
Well,
James. I
thank you
really
for being here and sharing.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right.
Hey, thank you so much, James.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Thank you, Leslie. Have a great day.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of Meet Your Mental Helper. I learned a lot. I hope you did too. If you'd like to learn more about our guest, you can find them on our guest directory at meetyourmentalhelper.com. You can find their social media links to follow them and also ways to directly contact them. If you would like to be on the podcast, join our Meet Your Mental Helper network. And we have several memberships that support the work we do that allow unknown experts to be seen. Look forward to hearing from you soon and see you at our next podcast.